Friends, welcome to this very first video on cost related discussion. Yesterday, in my first video, I have already spoken about some introductory remarks. But today, I thought I'll begin with some very basic discussion, very fundamental discussion. That is about three terms which are very commonly used, quite often interchangeably. But are they really the same? We are going to have a discussion because unless we are very clear about the fundamentals, we can't really build a superstructure. So I am going to talk about three terms: cost, price and value. Quite often they are used interchangeably, merely. But if we start thinking about it, there are some differences in them, and in fact quite some fundamental differences. Now if I were to ask you, out of these three terms, which two terms are objective and which one is subjective, what will be your answer? Particularly about which one is subjective. I think you guessed it right. Out of these three, value is a very subjective dimension, and we are going to talk about it. So let's talk about the two objective dimensions, cost and price. Then we'll come to value. So cost is what and price is what? Very briefly, I could say, and I'm sure I'm picking up thoughts from your mind, that cost is for inputs and price is for output. Essentially, whatever we procure in terms of resources to be able to manufacture a particular product or create a certain service, all those inputs, whatever compensation that we pay to those resource providers, can be collectively or individually called as cost. Out of these, we create a bundle called as product or service. We offer it to our customers, and what we charge to our customers is the price. So therefore, what is cost to us is price to someone else, and what is price for us is going to be cost for someone else. So we need to be very clear that in this series, I'm going to talk about cost, not price. Of course, understanding cost is very important in our pricing decisions, so that I am going to talk about separately. But cost and price, we need to understand from that perspective. Now let's come to this concept of value. Value, as we guessed earlier, is very subjective. Whereas cost and price are contractual. We agree on various costs for different inputs contractually. And similarly, we agree contractually with our customers for the price. But value is subjective. Now, why value is still important in our discussion? From which vendor and which inputs are you going to source those inputs, and from those vendors, which for a given cost provide you maximum value? Now, value is subjective. It can be assessed, estimated also, but intuitively and sometimes very logically, we always try and make an assessment whether the value that we are getting is more than the cost that we are paying. And similarly, when we price our product, we have to be also very conscious that the customer is going to perceive more value from the product that we are selling, and that value has to be more than the price that we are going to charge. Only if we are able to create that paradigm, we'll have naturally demand for our products. So therefore, in this whole discussion that we're going to have on costs and of course price, we also need to keep this value paradigm in mind, that in our subconscious, intuitively, we always are dealing with this aspect of value, though it doesn't appear contractually. In fact, before I end this video, I would like to say this and then conclude this video, that essentially, why does stock market trading happen? Essentially, why it happens is because people have different perceptions of value. Those who are selling in the market feel that the price is more than the value. Those who are buying it have this feeling, perception, intuition that the value that they are going to get is more than the price that they are paying. And because people have different perceptions of value, share trading happens. Imagine if we had a consensus on value, no trading would ever take place. So I think we need to have a clear understanding of these three terms: cost, price and value. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Do share your comments on this. They would always encourage me to create more content. I would also like to learn from you in terms of Where I may be wrong, I would be very open to correct and seek your inputs on this. I also request you to like this video if you indeed have liked it, and also subscribe the channel. As our community grows, we can create more and more content together. Thank you so much.